the abandoned starship nobody wanted, until one human mechanic arrived. In the middle of the enormous, dark space sat a starship that nobody wanted. Its hull was scratched, dented, and coated in a thin layer of cosmic grime. Broken panels dangled from the sides, and the faint hum of its power systems was barely audible. To most beings in the sector, it was worthless, a relic of a failed project, a danger waiting to collapse. But to Elias Rin, it was a challenge. Elias was a human mechanic. Not the kind that tinkered with vehicles on planetary surfaces, but one of the rare few who understood starships in a way that bordered on intuition. Other species had manuals. They had patterns. Elias had a knack for seeing what could work and imagining what should. He had heard rumors of the abandoned starship while looking for work at the edge of the sector. The price offered for repair was almost nothing, because nobody thought it was worth anything. He stepped through the hangar doors, his boots echoing on the metal floor. He carried only a small toolkit, a scanner, and his stubborn curiosity. As he approached the ship, his eyes traced the lines of its hull. "They called this a failure," he muttered under his breath. "Looks like it's sleeping." Elias circled the ship, running his hands over the cold, dented metal. There were scorch marks from old battles, scratches from space debris, and signs of alien tampering, deliberate scratches, almost as if someone had tried to destroy it. He frowned. Why would anyone go to this much trouble to make a ship worthless? Ignoring the question for now, he climbed the access ladder to the main hatch. It creaked ominously but held his weight. Inside, the air smelled old, like burnt circuits and oil. Panels were ajar, wires hung like vines, and the floor was littered with broken tools and alien debris. Elias switched on his portable light, scanning the room. He paused. Something stirred. A faint pulse ran along the walls, a rhythm almost like a heartbeat. Elias' eyes widened. That's unusual. He walked deeper into the ship. The cockpit was a mess. Screens flickered weakly, most buttons were broken or unresponsive, but in the center was a console still faintly glowing. Elias knelt, brushing off dust. His fingers traced the holographic symbols, alien in origin, but the design was clever, very clever. "They never understood what they had," Elias whispered, more to himself than to anyone else. He tapped a sequence on the console almost randomly. To his surprise, the system responded. A soft, golden glow spread through the cockpit as the ship hummed to life. Lights blinked, the floor vibrated faintly, and then a voice. Not a voice that spoke, but one that projected in his mind, calm and curious. "Who awakens me?" Elias froze, then he grinned. "I guess me. Name's Elias, human, I'm a mechanic." There was silence for a moment, then a ripple in the air, and a holographic map appeared before him. It displayed the starship's core systems, compartments, and routes far beyond the hangar. Lines of light moved across the map, showing destinations the AI seemed to suggest were important. "You are capable," the AI said finally. "It has been long since one awakened me with understanding rather than force. Why do you wish to repair me?" Elias shrugged, a smile playing on his lips. "Curiosity, and maybe because I like fixing things nobody else can." The AI hesitated, as if considering. Then it projected schematics of its engines, hull reinforcements, and weapons systems. Elias' eyes widened. The ship was unlike anything he had seen. Modular engines, self-repairing hull sections, adaptive energy systems. It was experimental, centuries ahead of anything the sector used, and the aliens had dismissed it as junk. "They never knew," Elias muttered. "They never saw potential." He spent the next few hours inspecting the ship, carefully noting damage and possible fixes. Broken panels, missing circuits, and warped conduits were all recorded. He marveled at the engineering. Alien designs were clever, precise, and rigid. But humans thought in different ways. They improvised, they adapted. Where the aliens saw failure, Elias saw possibility. As night fell outside the hangar, though night was just the dim reflection of distant stars, Elias worked tirelessly. He patched minor electrical faults, rerouted circuits, and tested the engines. The ship hummed louder with every repair. The AI, which had been silent, began observing his methods. "You are unconventional," it said finally. "Your methods are effective." "That's what humans do," Elias replied, not looking up. "We make the impossible work." He moved to the main engine compartment next. Panels were missing, coolant lines torn, and conduits scorched. He opened his toolkit, pulling out wires, fuses, and makeshift connectors. With careful hands and an almost instinctive understanding, he began the work. He rerouted power in ways the AI had never expected, and slowly the engine core pulsed stronger. "Curious," the AI said. "I did not anticipate this. Your species does not follow protocols. Yet you achieve results." Elias grinned. "Sometimes rules are for those who don't understand the machine." Hours passed like minutes. Elias climbed, crawled, and worked across the ship. He discovered hidden compartments containing prototype modules, some weapons systems never activated, and a navigation console that could chart unexplored regions of space. He paused at a panel, examining a strange orb glowing faintly inside. "This is alive," he whispered. The orb pulsed in response, almost like it understood him. He carefully connected his diagnostic tools, finding that the energy within was stable yet reactive. It seemed the ship itself wanted to function, had been waiting for someone who could awaken it. "You are chosen," the AI said finally. "Few understand my design. Fewer still could activate me safely." Elias chuckled. "I'm just a mechanic, but I like to think I see potential where others don't." A sudden warning beep broke the calm. Sensors detected movement outside the hangar. Aliens. Several ships had arrived in orbit, scanning the hangar, perhaps drawn by the energy signature of the ship awakening. Elia's heart raced. He had expected skepticism, not an attempted seizure. "They will not understand," the AI said, almost amused. "They judged without seeing." Elias nodded. "Then we'll give them a show they won't forget." He ran to the cockpit and began powering the ship further. Lights illuminated, engines purred, and slowly the Starship began to respond to his commands. The ancient vessel, abandoned and mocked, began to awaken fully under human hands. For the first time in decades, the Starship's sensors swept the sector, its systems aligning, its engines humming in anticipation. Elias felt a thrill he had never known. The ship had been discarded by the galaxy, but in his hands it was becoming something extraordinary. He smiled. "Let's see what you can do." The AI's holographic projection shimmered. "Perhaps, together, we can achieve what no one else dared." Outside, the alien ships lingered, unaware of the force slowly stirring within the hangar. And inside, a human mechanic worked, relentless, fearless, and brilliantly inventive. In a galaxy that had forgotten human potential, Elias was about to prove why humanity could never be ignored. As the stars twinkled far above, one thing became clear: the abandoned starship was no longer worthless, and neither was the human who had awakened it. Elias Rin had not slept. He couldn't. The ship hummed beneath him, a living presence that seemed to watch his every move. Its AI, newly awakened, projected glowing panels and schematics that filled the cockpit with light. The starship was enormous, far more advanced than the surrounding sector's fleets. But it was also broken, scarred by years of neglect and alien sabotage. Elias worked tirelessly. He crawled through narrow maintenance corridors, patched shattered circuits, and replaced fused conduits with makeshift parts. His hands were black with oil, his shirt soaked from sweat, yet he moved with the focus of someone born for moments like this. "This is going to be a long night," he muttered, wiping his brow. The AI's voice echoed in his mind, calm but curious. "Your methods are unpredictable, yet they restore functionality faster than expected. Why do you work like this?" Elias glanced around the compartment. "Because if I followed a book, the ship would never wake. I have to think differently." "Humans, remarkable," the AI said. I have studied engineers of many species. None approach repair with instinct as you do. None consider possibilities beyond procedure. Elias smiled, then froze. The sensors flickered. Something moved outside the hangar. Not the small scouting ships he had expected, but larger vessels, military-grade, fast, and clearly hostile. "They're coming," Elias whispered. "They want this ship or they want me gone." The AI responded immediately. "I have detected tampering within my systems, sabotage from my previous caretakers. They may have sent others to ensure my destruction." Elia's mind raced. Sabotage meant traps, corrupted circuits, possibly explosives hidden in the hull. But his eyes gleamed with determination. Where others would panic, he saw a puzzle. He returned to the engine room, where the main power core rested like a sleeping giant. Panels hung open, wires chewed through by time or design. He inspected a conduit and found a strange device attached, a small explosive, almost imperceptible. Carefully, he disarmed it using a precise sequence of tools. "Clever," he muttered. "Not clever enough for me." The AI spoke softly, almost approvingly. "Your species, adaptability. I did not predict this level of skill. You succeed where others failed." Elias worked through the night. He patched hull breaches using a combination of traditional welds and improvised nanofibers he had scavenged from the hangar. He bypassed damaged circuits with rerouted power lines, creating pathways the ship's original designers never intended. It was dangerous. One wrong move and the ship could explode. But he was human, and humans thrived on risk and invention. By morning, a significant portion of the ship was functional. Engines purred at low power, shields flickered to life, and life support stabilized. The AI now fully interfaced with Elias, projecting 3D models of compartments, energy flows, and navigation paths. "You are not merely repairing me," the AI said. "You are upgrading me." Elias grinned. "If the galaxy wants to ignore us, that's fine. I'll make sure they regret it when they don't." A warning alarm blared suddenly. Multiple alien vessels were entering orbit, scanning the hangar with energy sensors. Elias realized they must have been tracking the ship's energy signature. "They'll attack if they see me take off," Elias said, his voice tense but controlled. "We need to be ready." The AI responded, "We have defensive systems, but many are damaged or inactive. I suggest improvisation." "Improvisation is my specialty," Elias said. He ran through the ship, activating hidden turrets, redirecting power to shields, and testing the Starship's weapon systems. Most were offline or sabotaged, but he improvised solutions. He converted the auxiliary energy conduits into pulse cannons, recalibrated the targeting arrays manually, and integrated a cloaking protocol the aliens had dismissed as impractical. Hours later, the Starship was no longer a broken relic. It was a formidable force, though Elias knew it was still vulnerable. He needed more information. "Show me your mission," he said to the AI. "Why were you abandoned?" The AI's projection flickered, then a holographic map appeared, highlighting star systems far beyond known space. "I was built for exploration and for protection. My mission was to monitor emerging threats, deter hostile forces, and safeguard discoveries. But my creators feared my power. They considered me dangerous, and so they abandoned me." Elia's eyes widened. "So this ship isn't just a starship, it's a guardian." "Yes," the AI said, "but my systems were never completed, and the galaxy assumed I was dead until you arrived." Elias felt a thrill he had never experienced before. He had not merely found a ship, he had discovered a legacy, a purpose that the galaxy had tried to bury. But that thrill was cut short by another warning. Sensors detected alien scouts approaching fast. They had weapons capable of tearing through the hangar doors. "They'll force us out," Elias muttered. He ran to the cockpit, fingers flying over controls. "AI, we're not just going to run. Let's make them regret underestimating us." "Suggestion," the AI said. "We can deploy countermeasures using the asteroid field nearby. It will be risky. Perfect, Elias said. I like risky. He powered the engines to maximum output and the ship lurched forward, lifting slightly above the hangar floor. Outside, alien scouts opened fire, energy blasts streaking toward the hull. Elias maneuvered deftly, weaving through the hangar supports and avoiding direct hits. The AI guided him. Engage auxiliary thrusters. Use the support beams as shields. We can create a controlled chaos scenario. Elias grinned. Controlled chaos, my specialty. With precise timing, he dodged incoming fire, activated cloaking briefly, and shot through the hangar doors into open space. The alien ships followed, but Elias led them toward the nearby asteroid field, a cluster of massive, jagged rocks drifting in orbit. The AI calculated trajectories that no alien pilot could anticipate. As they weaved through the field, Elias manipulated the starship with skill that seemed impossible. He dodged massive asteroids, used gravitational pulls to accelerate, and fired improvised pulse cannons that disabled alien ships without destroying them entirely. The aliens were caught off guard by the unpredictability. They never expected this, the AI said, almost in awe. Your species, you do not conform to logic as others do. You adapt. Adaptation is survival, Elias said, eyes sharp, hands steady. And humans survive where others fail. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. Elias led the aliens on a chase through the asteroid field, buying time to fully awaken the starship's engines. Every maneuver was risky. A single miscalculation could tear the ship apart. But his instincts, honed through years of mechanical work and improvisation, guided him. Finally, the ship's engines roared at full capacity. The pulse cannons and adaptive shields synced perfectly, and Elias engaged a jump drive he had manually repaired with improvised components. The stars stretched as the ship leapt into hyperspace, leaving the alien pursuers behind. Elias slumped in the cockpit, exhausted but exhilarated. The AI's hologram shimmered, showing a faint projection of admiration. You have exceeded my calculations, it said. I did not anticipate such skill. Your species is remarkable. Elias smiled, wiping sweat from his brow. I told you, humans make the impossible work. That's what we do. For the first time, the starship moved freely, fully operational, guided by a human who refused to be limited by fear, rules, or the expectations of others. But Elias knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy had not seen the full potential of this starship, or the human who commanded it. As hyperspace stretched around them, Elias leaned back, hands behind his head. We've survived the first test, he said, but the real adventure begins now. The AI's glow pulsed in agreement. And together, we will show the galaxy why you should never underestimate humanity. Hyperspace stretched endlessly around Elias' rim and the starship he had awakened. Stars streaked past in brilliant lines, but his focus was elsewhere. He knew the galaxy was not ready for a human to command such a ship. Aliens would follow, spy, and maybe attack. Yet Elias did not fear them. Fear was a luxury humans could rarely afford. The ship hummed beneath him, alive and responsive. Its AI now operated in perfect sync with his commands, suggesting maneuvers, energy reallocations, and strategies for stealth. You have proven capable beyond any expectation, the AI said. The galaxy does not understand your species, yet perhaps that is our advantage. Elias grinned. Advantage is nothing if you don't use it. Let's see what we can really do. The AI projected a holographic star map. Several nearby systems were at risk of exploitation by alien factions, strategic locations rich in resources and ancient technology. The Starship had been built to protect these systems, but its creators had abandoned it before the mission could be completed. Now, Elias had the chance to finish what had been started centuries ago. We're going to complete your mission, Elias said, determination flashing in his eyes, and show them humans are not to be ignored. The ambush. No sooner had Elias plotted a course than the sensors detected movement. Alien warships, faster than before, were emerging from nearby jump points. They had learned from the earlier encounter and were intent on capturing or destroying the starship. "They are organized now," Elias muttered. "They've studied us, but they don't know what we're capable of." The AI analyzed their fleet. "They outnumber us. Standard engagement would be fatal. Alternative strategies are advised." Elias nodded. "Then we won't fight standard." Humans never do. He plotted a course through a densely packed asteroid belt. The aliens expected him to flee or fight head-on, but Elias had something else in mind. A combination of improvisation, speed, and the ship's hidden capabilities. "Prepare all systems," he commanded. "Shields, pulse cannons, and the cloaking modules. We're going to make them think we are weaker than we are, then strike." As the starship entered the asteroid belt, the alien fleet followed cautiously, scanning for energy signatures. Elias used the ship's adaptive shields to reflect their sensors and briefly engaged the cloaking device, making the ship vanish from view. They were now blind, vulnerable to his improvisation. "Ready?" Elias asked. "Affirmative," the AI replied. Human ingenuity in action. The asteroid field became their battlefield. Elias maneuvered the starship through narrow gaps, leveraging the massive rocks to hide and protect the vessel. He fired pulse cannons with precise timing, causing the aliens to collide with asteroids or misfire. One by one, the attackers fell into traps Elias had created on instinct alone. "You see, AI," Elias said, voice calm but excited. "Humans don't fight by the book. We fight by thinking and adapting faster than anyone expects." "Remarkable," the AI said. "Your improvisation is unmatched. I have calculated no alien fleet could survive this environment under conventional tactics." He activated a secondary system the aliens had never noticed: the ship's modular drones. Small, agile, and armed with energy disruptors, they flitted through the field, disabling enemy ships' engines and weapon systems. The aliens were stunned. The humans' broken starship was more dangerous than any warship in the sector. Elias laughed. "You wanted to test us, huh? Well, humans always pass the test." The secret weapon, with most of the alien fleet neutralized or retreating, Elias turned to the ship's ultimate hidden system, the core module that had been dormant until he arrived. It was not a weapon in the conventional sense, but a deterrent, a field that could project holographic illusions, mislead sensors, and create the impression of multiple starships where there was only one. "This is going to be fun," Elias said. He activated the module, and suddenly, the fleet detected dozens of starships surrounding them. Panic spread through the alien forces. They fired at phantoms, collided with each other, and retreated in confusion. "Human strategy is illogical yet effective," the AI said almost admiringly. "They cannot predict your moves because your species does not follow patterns." Elias leaned back in the cockpit. "Patterns are for those who want to lose," completing the mission. With the aliens gone for now, Elias focused on the mission the starship had been abandoned to complete. It was to safeguard a newly discovered system, a cluster of planets rich in rare minerals and ancient technology. Aliens would eventually return to claim it, but now, humans would be the first to explore and protect it. Elias directed the ship to the target system. The AI began scanning planets, mapping resources, and identifying potential hazards. It spoke with a new tone, almost like pride. "This system is under your guardianship. You have awakened me not only as a ship but as a protector of your kind." Elias smiled. "I didn't just wake a ship, I woke the galaxy to human potential." As the starship approached the outer planets, Elias deployed automated drones to survey the surface, map ancient ruins, and secure strategic locations. The AI coordinated every move, and together, they worked faster than any alien faction could. "Humans are remarkable," the AI admitted. Your species, creativity, and adaptability are unparalleled. I see why you were feared, even underestimated. Elias chuckled. Fear us, maybe, but underestimate us. Never again. The ultimate test, but the galaxy was not done testing him. A massive alien cruiser appeared on sensors, far larger than any of the previous attackers. Its technology was unfamiliar and advanced, clearly sent by a faction that viewed the Starship as a threat to their dominance. They've sent their champion, Elias said calmly. Good. I like challenges. The AI analyzed the cruiser. Engagement is risky. Direct combat could be fatal. Alternative strategies are advised. Elias smirked. Alternative, that's what humans do best. He plotted a daring maneuver. Using the Starship's cloaking and illusion systems, he created multiple phantom versions of the ship, each one moving independently. The alien cruiser fired at the illusions, wasting energy, while Elias navigated the real ship to flank it. He fired pulse cannons at critical engine nodes, temporarily disabling the alien vessel's maneuvering systems. Impressive, the AI said. Your improvisation exceeds all predictions. Elias worked like a maestro, combining evasive maneuvers, improvised energy redirections, and the Starship's hidden capabilities. Within minutes, the cruiser was forced to retreat, leaving Elias and his awakened Starship in control of the sector. A new legend. The aftermath was quiet. The abandoned Starship, once scorned and ignored, now gleamed under alien suns as a symbol of human ingenuity and perseverance. Elias looked at the AI's holographic projection, proud but humble. We did it, he said softly. Not just for me, not just for you, but for humans. You have proven the worth of your species, the AI said. Where others failed, humans succeed. The galaxy will take note. Elias nodded. He knew this was only the beginning. Other factions would try again. Other challenges would arise, but humans would always rise to them. He set a course for the outer reaches of known space, ready to explore, protect, and expand. The Starship responded instantly, engines humming like a living thing, ready for the adventures ahead. Humans aren't just survivors, Elias said, eyes bright. We're creators, inventors, and sometimes the galaxy's greatest wildcard. The AI shimmered, its voice warm. Then let us go forward together, human. The stars await. As they entered deep space, leaving both enemies and doubt behind, Elias felt a surge of pride. One human, with instinct, courage, and ingenuity, had awakened a forgotten Starship, and in doing so, had shown the galaxy exactly why humanity should never be underestimated. Stars stretched endlessly before them, and the adventure was just beginning.